Hello, hello, hello. It's your new day with Donna Reiners and Dr. Cami Owen, where we solve all the world's problems, or maybe just one, and maybe it's yours. In our 30 minutes, we talk about your emotions and mind and how they tie into your body and spirit. We want you to renew and restore yourself in a world that wants you crazy. And sometimes we even talk about money. Introducing your hosts, Donna Reiners and Dr. Cami Owen. So I was thinking about the power of intention. And example would be, two examples. One is when the alarm clock goes off and you're just laying there and you're like, oh, snooze, snooze. And then you find, fine, I need to get up. And you have this intention. Well, I'm really not like that. First of all, I really don't use an alarm clock. I just kind of wake up. Mm-hmm. And I know if I wake up at 5, I should get up, because if I stay asleep 2 more hours, I'm like, oh, why did I go to sleep? I'm notorious for that. But intention-wise, there's something that comes from the power of intention. And one example would be Craig, for me. So I've watched my husband for 22 years have what I see as intention. Yes, he has an alarm clock that's set. He hits it once, then he does his thing, and then he comes back, he lays down, then he hits it again. He gets up to hit it, and then he rolls out of bed on his knees, spends some quiet time in himself, because he works a high-pressure job. So that's his time. Then he goes in the closet, does his thing there. He also spends time in there in quiet. But in addition to that, that's a little picture of his dailies for the however many 30 years in a field, in an industry where he stayed with it when other people have departed. He's graduated with a mechanical engineering degree, of all things, but his first job offered was in IT. And so he's like, sure, I can do that. What was the intention? Sure, I can learn that. I don't know anything about that, but sure, I can do that. And now, almost 30 years later, he is an expert level in this field, in this industry of global internet technology. So what does that mean to me? For me, that means the reason he knows what he's doing is he stayed with it for the last 30 years. Versus me, jack of all trades, master of some, I flip-flotted around. I'm an adventurer. Let's try it. Let's do it. Oh, it didn't fail, or it failed. Oh, I don't care. That's fine. It was fun. Let's make another memory. That's me. And he's I don't see the polar opposite, because we've really helped each other. I gravitate sometimes toward him. He gravitates toward me. But his intention has been to be excellent. So he is a person of excellence because he's continued in a field where he's not given up. And when other people have jumped boat, I've watched the career be so stressful. I'm like, oh my goodness, I feel the stress. But yet he remains. He'll do 3 jobs at one time, and he's fine with that. He'll just, I'll just do it, because the wave passes. He's like, Donna, it's like water off a duck's back. Just shake it and keep moving. Keep the intention, just stay with it instead of just jumping out, because the wave will go and you'll remain.
Yes.
Intention.
Yes. And I would say our divorce rate in this country alone would speak to that level of dedication and that level of stick-to-itness.
True. When
you don't want to know more. And to me, that's what intention is about in some ways as well, specifically in discipline, as you were talking about. You do it because you intend it, and even if. You intend it, even if this happens, even if that happens, even if that happens, even if I don't want it anymore, that intention to get you through to the wave passing, because the waves are going to come, and we have to have a commitment to ourselves. And again, it's being of choice, choosing every day, choosing every minute, sometimes or second, like I would argue that most people, a majority of people, go to work because they have to make a paycheck they have to pay bills and they have to do that thing. They have to. That's the word I'm using.
And that's their supposition.
Yes.
I have to do
I have
this.
to do this. And instead of, you can get up and go to the same job and not choose it, and it be a burden, it'd be it just, I hate my job, but I got to do it. And when you go in with that attitude and that intention that this is a crappy job that I have to do, then you invite stress. You invite people that are ugly to you at work. You invite all of that stuff in because that's where you're at. The radio station you're playing is my job sucks and I have to be here and I don't want to be here.
Yeah.
That's you could get up the very next day and set the intention that I am blessed beyond measure that I have a job. I am blessed beyond measure that I have someplace to go and we can trade energy, we're calling that money today, for my talents, and they get my talents for a period of time during the day. And you go to work with that intention and that choice and choose your job like from a place of gratitude and a place of I love what I do. Watch your day change.
Yes.
Watch your life change. Watch your job change for you. Watch you change your job for the others around you.
That's good. It opens doors for you. When I was referring to Craig, I was thinking about how it's like an equity. You build an equity not just in what you do. You build an equity in who you are because you put weight into it. You put what we're calling intention. It's like a tapestry. And, that picture of the tapestry that people use for years, this side looks so pretty that you turn it around and the other side's full of all the little knots and holes and things, all those things. Because our real lives are this messy part.
Yes.
But the discipline part makes a beautiful tapestry and a wealth of knowledge and safety and promotion and open doors and possibilities instead of being stuck in, I'm never going to go anywhere. I'm never going to do anything. This is not going to work. I don't know why I'm thinking about this. I mean, if I had thought that even about doing this show, we definitely would not be sitting here. But, I thought, how fun is that? Let's go for it. And so what did that intention do? It not just opened up the door, but then I was talking to Dr. Cammie one day while I'm laying on the acupuncture table, mind you. Okay, I'm on the acupuncture table. And by the way, hey, got this going on. She said, well, why don't we do it together? I'm like, well, that's an idea. And now here we are. Because I didn't say no. And also because I said yes, not having a clue where it would go, what it would do. I don't know. Well, we don't know what's going to happen in 52 weeks.
Right. And let me add this little tidbit. I hate to be in front of a camera.
And I love it.
I going back to previous shows when we talked about having something happen to you and then you make a decision. Okay? For the folks that are our age will remember Olin Mills. Do you remember Olin Mills?
I do. I have some Olin Mills on those red
and like
chaps
and like glamour shots.
Yes,
all those things. Anyway, I went to Olin Mills, and I have
Are
always
they even still around?
No, I don't think so.
Okay,
but I was one of these. I've always been this kind of person that's a sympathetic blinker. Like I blink. If there's a loud noise, I'll blink. If somebody's hammering a hammer, I'll blink every single time that they're hammering. And I have an understanding of what that's about now, but I didn't back then.
Right.
So when flashes would go off, I would blink. And I would blink so fast that photographers rarely could catch me with my eyes open. Wow. And it was a joke in the family. I was a joke in the family. Oh, you won't get her eyes open. You won't get her eyes open. And started speaking that intention into my life. And you can hardly find a picture of me that's actually a posed picture. Now, if you catch me over there doing something, you might have gotten my eyes open. But even my son one time took a picture of me. Of course, my eyes were closed. And he photoshopped eyeballs over my eyes. That's how much of a joke it was. But that decision came from that I do not take pictures with my eyes open. That was an intention I lived. I lived that intention for most of my adult life. I was at Olin Mills, and if you've ever gone to Olin Mills, you come in, you do your 4 shots, and then you go, and then they come and try to sell you a whole bunch of pictures.
Sure.
The poor guy he could not get a picture with my eyes open. And back then they didn't have digital cameras where you could just see, did you get it?
Right.
He was just like, I'm pretty sure I didn't get that. I'm pretty sure I didn't get that. He shot an entire can of photos, which is like
wow,
hundreds and hundreds.
This is self-development time, y'all.
Hundreds of pictures. And
wow.
And he looked at me and he said, never come to Olin Mills again. I was probably 12 or 13 at the time.
Wow.
He goes, you are awful to photograph.
How harmful for your precious heart.
Yes, so he said that to me. And I had already had the stirring of, the jokes about you're not going to get a picture with my eyes open and everything. Then I have a professional that does this for a living.
Somebody in authority.
Yes, that has authority that tells me, Never come to Olin Mills again.
His action plan released into your life.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
And being the age I was and the awareness of it, I agreed to it 100%. His intention, I agreed to.
You're right. I should never do this again.
And I made it. And you could talk to my family. You could talk to my daughters and my son and my husband. I avoid a camera. I have avoided a camera most of my life. The only respite I saw in this is when digital cameras came out, and you didn't have to have a flash on everything.
True.
So then I could start to train myself, but I still would, as soon as I felt myself doing this, as soon as a camera went up, and there was something about me like, you are not worthy of a picture. Nobody wants to see your picture. You are terrible at, you are not photogenic.
Sure.
There's nothing photogenic about you. Stop taking pictures. You're going to break the pictures, break the cameras. And I would make those jokes outwardly and say that just to, take some of the charge off of it for myself, like make a joke about it. But I wholeheartedly believed it, that I'm not photogenic. I should not be in front of a camera. We're in a digital age. Everything's in front of a camera now. And even for my business.
Even the red lights.
Yes.
have cameras.
Have a camera. and even in my business, that you can't be successful if you're not on social media. And my intention was, well, hide and watch me. And I have been very successful, and you will not find me anywhere on social media. So, but it's interesting that I came home and told my husband, James, I'm going to do this with you. And he looked at me like, what? You're going to do what? Because he was like, there's like,
sure?
There's
a camera, don't you?
Yes, exactly. There's a camera. But it's been really interesting. I chose to do it. And I chose to do it with intention. And I chose to choose that it's fine and I will do a great job and be fine. So I set that intention. We sat and snapped how many pictures just before that?
I don't even know.
Every single one of them, my eyes were open.
It's beautiful.
And
you've reframed your past.
I have.
Now, and your past is no longer because of a new idea. And
yes.
When we started, when she asked me, or when she said, well, why don't we just do it together? All these things that went through my mind. You don't understand. I chose the midnight hour where only the people that are either have insomnia or maybe they've been out a lot that night and they're coming home and maybe won't be in the right mind. That's the audience I was choosing. And then she said, well, why don't we just split it and do it during the day? What are the times available? And I'm like, okay. So she's renewed her eyes opening. I had to face, wow. So me, Donna, from the wrong side of the other side of the tracks, not the wrong side, the other side of the tracks, who used to be called Sewage Ditch, is now doing a television show with someone not only that I respect but has credentials next to her name, right? So I'm in a renewing of my mind as well, a renewing of my identity, that I'm worthy to sit with someone who I see Dr. Cammie as someone with stature, with strength, with character, with integrity. And I've gotten to know her personally. And so there is actual integrity behind her versus her just being a doctor or just this, just that. And so sitting with someone like that, it's like, wow, I felt so honored that you would even have that idea. And I said yes, but along the way I was going, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, what have I done? Did I really say yes? And did I decide this like before I was created? I don't really know why is this happening to me? And then I realized it's not happening to me. I'm choosing to come up higher and to leave the stench of what I used to think about myself behind.
It's funny you say that, because when I said yes, I had a similar thing. Like, does she know what she just got herself into? I don't even know how to say words when I get a camera in front of me. And I'm one of these people that people look at me and go, what are you saying? Nobody understands the words coming out of your mouth.
You are a little heady, but I like it.
and I hear that from the people I work with all the my office manager will come in and say, nobody understood anything you just said. So I was thinking, James, she's poor thing. She just bit off, somebody. She's going to have to carry the show because she's going to have somebody that's going to be like, blah, 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 have nothing to say. And then, I hear you, and we've had this conversation off camera. There's still every now and then sneaks in a little self-deprecation speech about herself. And what did I say I was going to be in this show? Who are you? Who am I?
Going to be ourselves.
No, you're Batman.
Oh.
I am Robin.
Oh, she wants me to be Batman. I'm like,
she is Batman. And I'm her sidekick, because the wisdom in this woman is amazing. And I jumped at the chance to be co-entangled, quantumly entangled with this wisdom, so some of it will rub off on me. So it's awesome. I'm pretty excited.
And I'm excited too, and I'm thankful. And I appreciate you. And,
and she's a great snorkeler.
I have learned snorkeling. Cammie gave me a 30-minute, she said I can teach you in 30 minutes. We were in Aruba on
Talking about
trip.
attention, because she was decided that she could not snorkel. She had tried it.
Because I was almost drowned when I was a kid by someone who loved me. So I did not feel safe, even though I turned into a swimmer underwater, but I could not swim like this. I was terrified.
And she was telling me when we were in Aruba, a trip we won on LifeWave, which was kind of cool. But I said, oh, yeah, I can teach you to snorkel. And she's like, no. And then I said, no, really, I can teach you to snorkel, I promise. And there was a real couple of minutes where she was not trusting me, that like I'm going to do something horrible, And I got that. I could feel that energy, and I just took it slow and took it slow.
But she went after it. She did not just go, okay, well, that's what you want.
No, I was like, oh, hell no, you're going snorkeling, because we're going snorkeling. That's what we're doing. We're snorkeling today. And that is me. Once I set an intention, I am a bulldog about it.
Of course, she got to pet a sea turtle too, but that'll be another day.
But she would have missed that experience had she not snorkeled, because we snorkeled out, and it wasn't even 30 minutes. It was 10 or 15.
Yeah, it was.
And I looked around like, where's Donna and Craig? They're gone. They're snorkeling. And I was like, this is awesome.
It's amazing.
And they were just gone. But we actually did have, and set an intention. I set the intention I would see a sea turtle, because it's like my spirit animal. I love them. and so we're snorkeling out there, and I see one, and he's probably 20 feet down. And I just set the intention. I started thinking and setting the intention, oh, you're going to come up and see me. You're going to come up and see me. And that's all I did for the next 15 to 20 seconds. And what did he do?
He came up to the surface. I'm like, oh my goodness. Is that a sea turtle?
He did.
Cammie loves those things.
And he swam right up to me.
Right up to her. And she's like,
and I touched him. And
she's like petting him.
And he turned around and he did that to my mask. And then he went back down.
They did a head bump. Come on.
And he went back down. And then I sat there for a little bit. And I go, oh, you're going to come see me again. Come see me again.
Yes.
And what happened?
He came up again. I am watching all this, and I'm as a photographer, I'm like, I cannot believe I don't have a waterproof camera right now. This would be so amazing.
But it was really cool. But through intention, we got to have that experience together.
We did, and I did not seen it if I had not chosen to say yes. Number one, to facing my own fear of being under the water. That was really, it's an internal decision. But the other was to feel safe enough that she could teach me and that I would be okay. I had to know I'd be okay. So you're safe to make this change and to repair and rebuild obstacles you've had in the past. You can cause those to either be completely gone, or maybe you would be like me. There are times when I just have to barrel through something.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you don't even lift it up and go, oh, I wish it would go away. Sometimes you just need to get a jackhammer and just go after it yourself until you get through to the other side. Mm-hmm. But either way, just set a new intention today, guys.
Yes.
Do something different. Choose something either new to learn, or choose a fresh behavior. Maybe you want to be like somebody else. Maybe there's somebody you highly esteem and you're like, man, I want to be like them. Well, maybe just decide to be like them for a moment. Mm-hmm. And see what it turns into for yourself. See if you can have the confidence you really want to have. Maybe you have confidence you don't realize you really do have. Maybe I'm really a born snorkeler.
You are.
I don't know.
I saw it. No, she is. I saw it.
I'm like,
maybe let somebody else reflect back to you who you are, and to be able to see you where you're not actually seeing the beauty in you. If somebody's telling you something great about yourself and you're constantly, that's not true, or somebody comes and says, you really look nice today, or you're such a pretty person, and you, no, I got to zit here, and we do that to because it doesn't fit in the intention we're living in right now, and that's fine. If that's where you want to stay, that's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with that. It is not your empowered self. And that's you still living small.
Or how about this, religious world? I'm just saying, oh my goodness gracious. Well, it's just Jesus. It's just Jesus. Well, you can't breathe without the breath of God anyway, so whatever. Yeah, it's like the whole, let's deflect away from ourselves so that we think that's noble. Because we feel better about ourselves.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't be full of pride. I can't really be beautiful. That's not right, because that's just God who does all that. Well, God does not pour water down your throat, and God does not, go to the bathroom for you. Listen, there are things that are within us that we move through to, and there are things that we get to co-create with and become who we need to become. But it is because we have a creator who lives within us that does all those things in front of us, with us, entwined in it, like entanglement.
Yes.
You called it quantum entanglement?
Yes.
I love it.
Yeah, we'll talk about that more, but that's a whole show. Quantum entanglement.
And look how your eyes are open.
Look at that.
And she looks great on camera, doesn't she?
And the camera has not broken yet.
No, it has not.
Although that is another funny story we can get into about my effects on electronics.
Oh, no. I'm sure James could give us a whole...
Well, actually, my entire staff at my clinic can, because if I am charged up and I get around electronics, they don't work around me completely. And I have an entire practice that's based on electronic and digital program and computers everywhere.
Oh my goodness.
But I can walk in. A funny story, when I was on vacation from Aruba, and I got in early, and I thought, I'll just go up to the office. There's nobody up there. There's no patient schedule. I'll get some work done. So I sneak into the back door, and my office is next to the clinical director's office. There's a wall here, but to get there is this way and this way, so I could get there without you ever knowing I'm in the building. And I get there, and I come in, and I'm doing my thing, and I get a text from her. She goes, "Did you just come in the building?" And I said, "Yes." "Why?" She goes, "My computer just stopped."
Oh, no.
And it'll just sit there and spin, and the staff will shoo me away. I have to stand about 15 feet away when they're checking somebody out, or the computer will just spin. It's quite funny. And one time, we have a electric car, and I was going somewhere and it had been a very hectic day, and we were driving from Texas to Arkansas to see some property.
Oh, no.
And my manager's like, "Are you sure you want to get an
electric car?" I don't blame her.
in the state you're in, because it was just a very chaotic day. And I said, "Yeah, I'll be all right." And she's like, "I don't know." We had to reboot that car 3 times. So it's really actually a funny thing, and we can go into that in the quantum physics world of how that actually happens. But it's actually more common than not, and a lot of people just are thinking it's just their electronics. Like I can't, an Apple Watch will only last maybe 2 or 3 months on me, and then it won't stay charged. My right earbud always dies and doesn't come back. So it's who we are. We are actually collectively, our consciousness is raising and our oscillation is raising. And the electromagnetic fields that we're generating affects electronics. It's actually science. It's not voodoo or woo-woo stuff. It's actually real. But there's been no education about it. There's been very little discussion about it. It still occurs as a joke to most people when I talk about this. But it's actually very scientific. It can be shown in a lab if we
I know someone like you. I was remembering, his name is Delisle. And same exact thing. His watches do not remain. His phone, he cannot carry it on because he has to get multiple batteries over him. So and he's literally never sick because of the energy he carries. Keeps all the sickness away.
Yes.
So I was talking to him about a health product. He's like, "I really don't need that." I'm like, and after he was done with me, I'm like, "You're right, you don't. But your family does."
Yeah. His terrain is strong. Energetic and physical.
Yeah.
Because it really all originates in the electrons of your body. So
we're glad you're here today. Hey, listen, you can inquire about our subscription membership group, where we are helping you become a new you. And it can indeed be a new day for you. And we look forward to seeing you there. Information will be at the end of the show. And you can find out more then. Thank you so much. We bless you.
See you next time.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining Your New Day with Donna Reiners and Dr. Cammie Owen. We look forward to seeing you next time. Remember, we solve all the world's problems, or maybe just one, and maybe it's yours. Until soon.